Modern Warfare 2019 and 2023 is unplayable. The other day I was scrolling through Twitter during one of my daily dukes and saw videos of how Modern Warfare 2019 was becoming overrun with cheaters. While everyone expressed their disappointment since it's clear Modern Warfare, much like previous old Call of Duty titles, was outright abandoned and left to cheaters to essentially have their way with it, I on the other hand got very excited because this meant another video in which I enlist the help of world-renowned MILF hunting Xbox support extraordinaire Minnesota Burns to help correct the cheating in the game, returning Modern Warfare 2019 to a playable state. Well, skill-based matchmaking still exists, so like, playable enough. Except Minnesota Burns seems to be too focused on the Minnesota Wild competing for the Stanley Cup, who just got knocked out of the playoffs as I was recording this. Welcome to the land of being a poverty franchise, Burnsy. Anyway, so this left me, a guy who has a reputation of being too complainy, who rehashes jokes or unearths old memes.
This is a load of barnacles.
To help fix Modern Warfare 2019. And since I'm often compared to people like Matt Damon, David Ortiz, or inspirational tech-sending father of the year Tom Brady, I figured what better way to show how much of a hero I am than by making a game that is unplayable playable. Having said that, you would understand my disappointment when I found out not only was Modern Warfare 2019 indeed playable, but it didn't have a cheater in sight. So now that means no funny jab at the people who I think would benefit most from just going outside, and no clips of this chaos. I mean, what even is this? And right here, I'm going to ask the same question that I asked in this video. Why cheat? What is the luxury in cheating in a video game? Does it make you feel cooler than you really are? Give you a bit more of a confidence boost when you're trying to talk to your crush in homeroom? Or maybe you're just a loser. Listen, don't get me wrong. If your powers are being used to make the game fun for everyone, then go for it. Though it's when you use your powers of no-lifehood for pure evil, that's when I say, fuck you. But I promised you cheaters, and since I'm a hero and a man of my word, well, damn it, here's a quick montage of me hitting absolute bombs in MLB The Show.
Totinos, how did you know? Totinos, everybody's talking about Totinos, hot pizza rolls, and not burritos, whoa.
So now that you know I've been bamboozled into playing Modern Warfare 2019 again, why not just stick around for a few minutes and we talk about it? Modern Warfare 2019 was released in 2019, and serves as a bit of a reboot for the Modern Warfare franchise. The intention behind this, of course, was to bring back some of the players who may have left over the last few iterations by giving the Call of Duty fanbase something familiar but new at the same time. First change, Modern Warfare 2019 brings back some of that grit and realism found in earlier titles. So the days of Call of Duty featuring creepy clowns, jetpacks, or toy soldiers are no more, at least so we thought. Not only is this seen through its uber-realistic campaign, but through its game design and modes. One such game mode being called Night Ops, an uber-tactical game mode that takes a few maps that were already confusing as shit and makes them pitch black while also providing the players with some cool night vision goggles. Shockingly, this mode barely saw much attention from both the developers and the player base post-launch and can't be found in any of the game's playlist as of March 1st, 2023. While a cool concept, it was nothing more than a gimmick game mode that showed a clear divide in what the players thought the players would do with this game mode and what the players actually did with this game mode. Like, here's what I think the developers probably thought was going to happen with this game mode. And here's what actually happened with this game mode.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Continuing on the path of realism, we saw some new features like everyone's favorite map mechanic, doors, and a gunsmith being added to the game to help immerse players into this realistic milsim type world. I mean, it's immersive until you buy one of the Wii bundles from the store.
Alright, I know this looks bad, but it's actually really bad. Please come help me,
Speaking on the bundles a bit, damn I'm good. The DLC structure changed from the season passes and supply drops to bundles and battle passes, something seen in games like Fortnite. Before, with supply drops, you would gamble at a chance to get good loot, such as new weapons, weapon variants that would boost various stats on your weapon, and some cosmetic items. Bundles took the place of supply drops, presenting everything up front to the player, that way you knew what you were getting from the very start. While battle passes gave players the opportunity to earn rewards while being transparent about what they would earn, while also allowing the players to get free maps and DLC along the way. It's funny looking back because in 2019 this was a very positive change. It removed the randomness that it took to earn most of these items, while also giving the player the option to buy the cosmetic items that you wanted without having to buy 80 supply drops to do so. But in the year 2023, most of these bundles have either been reused or redesigned into new bundles for Modern Warfare 2, making this an absolute ripoff. God damn it. Listen, I'm trying to get better, okay? Positivity. Here's some positivity. Modern Warfare 2019 has a slew of different maps, ranging from new tactical friendly maps to remastered or remade maps to 2v2 maps that when played using a 6v6 game mode will most likely make your brain explode because it's pure chaos. The greatest map to come out of this game is easily a map called Piccadilly, a medium-sized map that is seemingly after the events of the campaign. It's great for rushing, camping, ruining your KD ratio, and turning you into the "my mom canceled my Warcraft account" kid. An even better map, and this is my personal taste here, is St. Petrograd, a map that I remember the name of and didn't need to look up on Google. It's a map that features multiple camping, tactical resting zones for players to hold up in. It's divided up into multiple alleyways with 2 major apartments that seem to be infested with rats. Good thing this isn't Black Ops 2, because if it was, the worm would be dropping nukes like Steph Curry drops 3-pointers. You better recognize. In case you didn't know, Modern Warfare 2019 has this thing called a gunsmith. It allows the player to take a weapon and customize it based off their playstyle, much like the old custom class system. The kicker here is you don't need a perk that allows you to have multiple attachments. Does this lead to a lot of balancing issues? Yep. But at least my For You page on TikTok provided me with enough content to watch during COVID. Speaking of greed and caring less about your fans, the best aspect about Modern Warfare 2019 isn't its maps or ridiculous bundles, but instead the operators that seem to range from either nostalgic based to realistic as fuck to what in God's name is this?
That is the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Operators were a cool addition because nothing was really game breaking about them except for Rose here, who is better summed up as 50 shades of, "oh, you won't be able to see me if the lights are off." She had all black gear that if an opponent was wearing this and was sitting in a corner, it was basically impossible to see. But that's a video for another day. Probably not another day. This skin was only available through either a bundle or battle pass, I can't really remember, so meaning if you were able to get this skin, it was basically pay to win. My personal favorite skin though was the Burger Town skin because it was extremely unique and looked great with all the Burger Town stuff that I got from eating Burger King for an entire week. Oh, the things I'll do for content. Modern Warfare 2019 also has a Spec Ops mode, so that's nice. Oh, sorry, I replaced the word with trash. If you know anything about me, I really hate Spec Ops modes because they don't really do much after the launch of the game to really update it at all. And Modern Warfare 2019 is no different. But if you really want to play on Verdansk, you have your opportunity here in Spec Ops. Now, since I'm such a hero, I've decided that in order to truly honor Modern Warfare 2019 and what it's done for the franchise, that I would do something Activision has been doing to us for the last couple of years. Reuse content and call it new. Except in this situation, I'm telling you about it. So here's this campaign video that's going to be pretty much exactly the same as it was at the time when I released it, because I like money. Sorry, that was a bit insensitive. I enjoy providing you with content in hopes of making your day better. There, that fixed it. But if you'd like to know why Modern Warfare 2019 and 2023 is unplayable, it's mainly because of the game's design choices. Personally, I feel like the addition of the gunsmith hurt the game more than it actually helped, along with the map design being absolutely horrid, with the developers leaning more on the remasters to kind of save the game a bit. I'm just glad though that they brought Rust back in its original form rather than whatever this was. Cheaters may exist, though it's hard to tell unless they're streaming and the cheats pop up on their screen, or they release videos saying that they're the best COD player ever, but then show how blatant of cheating that they are doing. Whatever. Anyways, here's the campaign, so enjoy. Why was Modern Warfare's story so goddamn good? Was it the action-packed missions, real and authentic characters, or just the fucking memes?
Grenade, look out!
Modern Warfare's story is just basically a mini-movie compiled of fake events and mashed in with real events, meaning Piccadilly never happened, while Wolf's Den is loosely inspired by the Bin Laden raid. It's missions like this that brings out the oh-so-important grittiness and realism to a franchise that has otherwise been viewed as the Michael Bay of video games. Shout out to his otherwise aggressive shittiness, not just as a person, but as a director. The fact that it feels so realistic and just much like a movie kinda does help Modern Warfare A, stand out from its competition of mindless shooters and action-packed stories, and B, set a certain benchmark for storytelling in video games. The missions and how they all intertwine to tell this overarching story is done so well while making all the characters seem believable or ordinary people that are just doing what they believe is right no matter the cost. Except Hadir, fuck him. Yes, there's big explosions and moments that might make you kind of just go, ugh, in a bad way, but those moments are outweighed by the storytelling in such a way that it does not matter. Also, the brilliant level design and crafting of different mechanics to represent the characters involved, such as like Farah as a playable character being an inexperienced fighter, which is represented through the gameplay mechanics and reload animations, truly just a special campaign. Due to interest in watch time and money, I've decided to go level by level and break them down a little bit, and you're probably wondering, why? Fuck you. That's why. I'm sorry. The game opens up with a message from the Wolf. God, I love that nickname. It gets me so goddamn hard. About how his terror group intends to remove foreign power or something along that line. As that's all happening, you see the group of soldiers that he's probably put out in the world prepping for this attack on London or Piccadilly with the Modern Warfare logo coming on the screen like it's a goddamn Hollywood blockbuster or something. Fog of War. Verdansk, 2019. Prior to COVID, people debating about wearing a mask in the fucking checkout line and every nerd's life being consumed by some map littered with the biggest tryhards the world has to offer. Was Alex and his team working to secure the gas currently in the hands of the Russians? Or some group of mercenaries? The operation is being led by Karen from Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon and the guy who voiced the old dude in Black Ops 4 Zombies. After launching a tactically placed Freedom missile, your team moves in to secure the gas, until you realize these mercenaries are also mixed in with some Russians. Oh no, who would have ever thought this would ever have happened? Which apparently is an act of war. Now, I'm not a warologist, but what they don't know won't hurt them, is my guess. But after securing the gas, your team is ambushed by terrorists who unalive your entire team and flee with the gas. And while Alex explains that the gas was stolen by an unknown faction, what he is really saying,
oh, what the fuck ever?
Piccadilly. No, not that Piccadilly. The mission takes place in London, where it sets up an impending terrorist attack by supporters of Al-Qatala. You play as Gaz, spoilers, Sergeant Garrick, whose team is tasked with preventing the attack from happening. Guess what? They don't. It happens and a lot of people die. As you fight through the streets, Garrick's life is saved by none other than Captain Price. After stopping the attack at the cost of a guy with a happy explosive strapped to his chest, it leads to Garrick expressing his frustrations about the rules of engagement, to which Price responds and recruits Garrick, to his team and whatever other shady crap he has going on. Embedded. Alex and newfound ally Farah must cause chaos to draw Russians away from the airbase. That's it. Throughout the mission, you see the atrocities the Russians are committing with slave labor and lynching more outspoken individuals. You have two ways to complete this mission. One, sneak around by blending in with workers and utilizing absolute stealth via, homemade suppressors or just throwing knives, to eventually load explosives on helicopters to create a distraction or diversion. 2, be a fucking meme lord and from the very start take out every Russian possible following the there can't be any witnesses if there are no witnesses tactic. It could also lead to you being killed or even an accidental friendly fire. What's beautiful about this mission is how the developers littered the map with weapons that really shouldn't be there, like for instance an MP5 and an M13, allowing you, the player, to just dick off if you want to. Proxy war. Fly planes into other planes while assaulting an airbase. That's it. Literally, fuck the jets. Clean House. The most realistic mission in Call of Duty. It has action, suspense, dilemmas. Do you Kobe Bryant an infant? That's for you to decide. Does this make you a bad person? Probably. But does this make you worse than Roger Goodell? No. Ban Deshaun Watson, you fucking asshole. The point of this mission is to uncover intel about the whereabouts of the Wolf. To do this, Price and Garrick must infiltrate a townhouse in London. Now, if you want to be tactical for the ultra realism, go for it. But you can also go full lord and blitz through this mission as fast as possible. Just know that blitzing through this mission is basically like making an appointment at the DMV. It's just ever so slightly faster, with the same sloths being at the counter. The mission is meant to be uber tactical, and I recommend playing it as such because it allows the player that added bonus of feeling immersed in the combat. Every shot matters, and every ill-timed shot or decision could mean life or death for you or a member of your team. Granted, if you die, you spawn back, so who gives a shit? Be careful of grenades because the wrong push of a button and the mission's over. Also a reminder, this is an MW2K 2019, so don't go in trying to play hoops, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Also tried shutting the kid up by spinning the mobile or whatever the thing above its crib is called, and it doesn't work. Actually, it probably makes things worse, surprisingly. After clearing rooms, you eventually find a detonator and intel on the wolf, which leads us to Hunting Party. Alex and Griggs, spoilers, are tasked with finding and taking the wolf captive. To do this, they use the power of freedom and taxpayer dollars to throw everything they have at the wolf's forces. Being honest, it's a lot of combat and trying not to step on a lot of explosive traps. Once you eventually reach the hospital where the wolf is held up, Alex, Griggs, and automatically generated NPCs are tasked with doing a breach and clear to save captured Marines and capture the wolf. Did anyone else just jizz their pants at the amount of freedom in this mission? No? That's weird. The Embassy. Fun fact, this mission is loosely based off the Benghazi attacks in 2012. Garrick and Price are tasked with providing exfil of the wolf pack. While this is happening, the embassy is coming under siege from the local militants, led by the Butcher, who are also trying to get the wolf. Popular guy, this wolf. Price and Gaz's helicopter goes down, making this entire mission foobar. It's hit by an RPG, by the way, or what I would assume is an RPG, which just reminds me of that hippie from Bad Co 2.
Oh, RPG! RPG! Yeah, I saw it. Whoa, what the fuck? Now you see these cheap Russian RPGs, they're easy, man.
1 hour later.
Spoilers for Bad Co 2, by the way. As you progress, you encounter the dilemma of saving one at the risk of others. If you have a soul of any sort, you save them and die, meaning the cost of many outweighs the cost of few, even if it means certain death. Sorry, it's a reality. The embassy is finally breached, leading to some tight engagements and a sick-ass Price hand-to-hand combat animation that I'm not even sure if it even made it to Warzone. You eventually run into Stacy, who... fucking Stacy, I can't stand her, who needs to have her hand held all the way to the door for an escape, as she apparently has the only access card to unlock the garage, or something like that. Well, it used to belong to the ambassador, but that dude was dumb as fuck anyway and just died. Anyway, you eventually make your way to the consulate building where you repel waves and waves of invaders, much like the real events, except you have air support. At some point, invaders make their way into the safe house where the wolf is being kept and they free him, leading to Farah saying,
Hadir, get your team to the crossroads. Bring everything you've got.
Yes, sister.
Gee, I wonder what could possibly go wrong here. Spoilers! I want to take a quick second and at least recommend watching the movie 13 Hours, or The Outpost, or any of those other movies that exist. Yes, it has a bunch of ripped Hollywood actors doing seemingly Hollywood things, and while I wasn't there for these events personally, the real people being portrayed acted as consultants on the movie. So yes, it's a Michael Bay movie, but it's a good Michael Bay movie. Again, I highly recommend it, as it's a really good movie that can maybe give you a bit of perspective of how good some of us really do have it out there, and what the price of freedom can really be. And support your troops is kind of what I mean here, mainly by donating to like the proper charities, and even maybe spending money in the Call of Duty store towards the endowment packages, which is what I do every year. So I don't know, those are my recommendations. You can blatantly ignore this and just skip to the next thing for all I care, but anyways.
Back to it.
Highway of Death. If you get your rocks off from sniping, then this is a great mission for you. The point of it is to stop the wolf's convoy from leaving the country down the Highway of Death. After a bit of practice and throwbacks to old lines,
Aim low. Hit.
I heard that.
you fend off waves of Alcatala and Russians using Hadir Sniper. A lot of defending going on here, which apparently has the caliber of a cannonball. Basically, this thing just shreds through enemies, allowing limbs to fly pretty much everywhere. As things start to go south, you see Hadir's Plan B, which is the Russian gas stolen from the beginning of the game, which I guess he was working with the wolf all along? I don't know, but for the keen-eyed players, if you paid any sort of attention to the weapon used by one of the attackers at the beginning of the game, it was the same as Hadir's. Probably meant nothing, or just meant something for the keen-eyed players. I don't know, who cares? Hadir uses the gas, much to the surprise of both Farah and Alex. Apparently he found it to be the only way to combat the Russians, or something like that. I guess fighting fire with fire is the way to say it, except, you know, for firefighters. Hometown. How does one joke about such a serious mission? Here we go. Flashback 20 years to Farah's home city being invaded by the Russians. At this time, Farah and Hadir are kids, obviously because, you know, age. Their mother is dead and their dad is forced to make sure that his children survive this attack that's currently happening. After arriving home and receiving a vintage Nokia cell phone, the three come under attack by some jacked Russian, not named Putin, in which Farah needs to find a way to survive and unalive him. Through a serious game of hide-and-seek, both you and Hadir manage to take out the Russian, say goodbye to your dying father, and make your way through the entire gas-filled streets. Eventually you come out the other side, witness an execution, and unalive 2 more Russians, only to be captured by Barkov. Whew, that's a lot. Here's the thing, this mission is amazing game development. Designing a mission where the player feels each moment the character is going through, while also making the game mechanics work to show the inexperience and age the character currently is, well, that's just amazing development. Hence, why this video is being done. And anyways, the Wolf's Den. You ever watch Zero Dark 30? Well, that's this mission. Raiding the compound of the Wolf, because they think Hadir, the Butcher, and the Wolf are all there, involves Garrick to clear multiple buildings and rooms that are either full of innocent civilians and combatants. Be careful, because some of these situations can result in choices that could have dire consequences later on.
We good? No, you... What?
All clear.
Alright, well, we don't want a terrorist on our hand. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Kinda. Am I gonna lose the mission if I cap the kid? Can we talk about that? Listen, he survives, but...
Restart the gate, Sergeant.
That doesn't mean he gets to keep his eyes.
Going from room to room can get intense, as it's similar to Clean House where every moment could be a life or death situation. Again, you can respawn, so it kinda doesn't matter. Though it still has that level of intensity where even the small moments like a squad member taking a round off his plate carrier or rounds coming through a door really put that bit of realism into the mission. Mainly due to how the characters react in these situations, again, it's just great game design. Once it's realized that the Wolf isn't in the building, Price baits a woman to reveal he's actually in a tunnel system underneath one of like the little shacks. So down the rabbit hole you go as Alex and Farah, and you go into this vast tunnel system connecting to the eventual room where the Wolf is located. Just remember when Farah says, on the count of 3, it's not 3, 2, 1, and then cut it 1. It's 3, 2, 1, cut it the word cut, which at times doesn't matter because sometimes she'll say on 2. Fuck it. I don't know. Learn to count, Farah. Also, you don't die and get information as to where Hadir is or something. Captive. Another flashback with Farah and Hadir being locked inside of a prison. Barkov, who is now the big bad, tortures Farah in order to figure out who Kareem is. Spoilers, it's Farah. You'll navigate through the prison, setting your comrades free and using weapons from the guards, which much praise to the reload animations again. Blah blah blah, things happen. You eventually, after fighting a bunch of cannon fodder, find Hadir and a few others trapped inside of a room currently on fire. Oh, wait, let's rewind that. Captain Price, at the time a lieutenant, shows up to save the day. Yay. Okay, fast forward to Hadir, and everyone being saved by Price and his team, which helps provide a bit of context and connection between how Price and Farah seem to know each other. Old comrades. Capture the Butcher, that's your main objective. Watch your fire because civilians are all around, but once you finally get a hold of him, because Nikolai just basically cripples the dude, Garrick and Price attempt to interrogate the Butcher, using his wife and child as collateral or some sort of method of interrogation. And a quick disclaimer, I do not promote or condone the act of torture. This is merely a video game, so please don't get your jimmies all rustled. Towards the end of the mission, you're presented with the option of torturing the Butcher. Like, let's be honest, you're gonna do it, we all know it. Igor the Putin lookalike ends up saying, nah, I'ma head out, leaving both Gaz and Price to do the interrogation, which, as Price puts it,
You want the gloves off? They're off.
which basically means do whatever you want, except, you can't, because you'll end up getting a mission failed. Once you get your information, you can either leave the Butcher alive, or you end up just killing him. Up to you and your moral compass. Going dark. Infiltrate Barkov's mansion to locate Hadir while also gathering intel on Barkov. Roam around the mansion premises, taking out armed guards and avoid detection. If you get detected, good luck. You'll find random people being tortured for intel, but once you find Hadir, shit hits the fan and you'll get another fan favorite line.
You done in, Sergeant? On your feet, we are leaving!
Sergeant, got weapons!
Hadir, who has found the location of Barkov and his plans to have another gas factory, gives the plans to Price, and Hadir is given to the Russians, who will most likely end up being killed, if he's lucky, so they say. Into the furnace. Listen, this has been a long video, so I'll try to make it at least somewhat quick. The Suicide Squad makes their way to Barkov's facility, where they need to destroy and prevent any further usage. Use the power of taxpayer freedom to launch airstrikes on heavily defended bunkers and soldiers, As you make your way up the hill, your team is divided up into two sides, Gaz, spoilers, and Price going into one side of the factory, while Farrah and Alex go in the other way. Farrah and Alex make their way through the facility to Nikolai, who just casually rolled up into a war zone with AKs and explosives to help blow up the facility. You fight a Juggernaut who's just kind of a bit annoying, honestly, to kill. Then Alex lays down his life so heroically until, roughly season 2 of Warzone when he comes back to help blow up the facility since his detonator broke, which will give Farrah enough time to go after an escaping Barkov. Price and Garrick push through their side of the facility to load up their explosives with the most epic sounding music playing in the background. It eventually cuts to Farrah, who has managed to get on Barkov's helicopter. She stabs him and kills him, then pushes his body off the helicopter, with Nikolai driving the helicopter and making you wonder, what was the plan B here if this all failed? Like, was he just going to crash the helicopter? Epilogue. The day has been saved with Karen from Ghost Recon and Price meeting for lunch to discuss a few profiles to set up Task Force 141. Names we the players all recognize, such as Garrick being Gaz, which at the time was kind of surprising, Soap, and Ghost, setting up an obvious MW2 launching this fall conveniently. So why is MW 2019 such a good story? Because each mission, character, gameplay mechanic was so beautifully designed to the point it felt like you were playing a mini movie, which again helps set a certain benchmark for story development. But what do you think? Is the MW 2019 story that good? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you liked the video, then like it. And if you kind of liked it enough, maybe you can consider subscribing. Also, if you didn't like the video, eat Arby's and beware of MILF Hunter Wilson. Thanks for watching, and well,